Is for within one of the new events in the Games coming up now with David Coleman.
17 athletes in the women's 3,000 metres. The defending champion, of course, Paula Fudge, did not make the English team. And the three English girls are Debbie Peel, Ruth Smith and Wendy Smith. For Wales, we've got Hilary Hollick and Kim Locke. And for Scotland, Yvonne Murray. 7.5 laps of the track.
On your marks.
Conditions blustery, and certainly we can't expect a really fast time.
On New Zealand, feet off the line, please.
And you can hear the possibly the marksman there saying to the New Zealand girl, feet off the line.
On your marks.
So away the girl for New Zealand on the inside is Anne Ordain, who used to be trained by Gordon Pirrie. And Ruth Smith has gone with her, Wendy Smith of England there too, and also the blonde Canadian Beverly Bush. Well, I know Steve Yvette's been looking through this field. Steve, conditions not conducive to fast running, but have you sorted out any of the medalists for us yet?
Well, David, I think really without the Eastern Bloc countries taking part, Great Britain should really dominate the 3,000 metres women here, because at the moment you can see with Ruth Smith in second place, we're sort of already up there with two of our girls in sort of second and third places, and as the race develops, I think on rankings we should, you know, have maybe 4 or 5 in the first 6.
Thank you, Steve. Actually, we've got an effects problem in the stadium, so we've got so much crowd noise in my headphone I couldn't hear you coming through. Anyway, we'll try and get back to you later on. In the meantime, Anne Ordain still leading. And the three English girls well up there. 149, by the way, the Canadian girl is Jerry Fitch. But the best of the Canadians, and the favourite in many ways to take this title, is number 181, Debbie Scott. Anne Ordain leading, Ruth Smith in second place, Wendy Smith is third, and then the three Kenyans, Chepchirchir, who's only 14, Chepkombe, also only 14, and Cheruiyot, who's 17. And the Kenyans beginning to discover some very useful girl middle distance runners, which after the success of the men, it seems to have taken them a long time, Brendan Foster, to break through in the ladies' events.
We've been expecting the Kenyan ladies to do something for quite a while, but these three girls are, two of them are 14, one of them is only 17, the other one's only 17 as well. But the 14-year-old Justina Chepchirchir is the East African 1,500 metres and 3,000 metre champion, so she's obviously pretty good. But I'm quite impressed with the way Anne Ordain's taking this on very positively. I think the two British girls, Wendy Smith and Ruth Smith, and Debbie Peel, unfortunately, seems to be suffering for her efforts in Athens. But I think we've got a real medal chance here. I know the girls are really aggressive about this race, and I know they've got real positive thoughts. And I think if they can just stay with this pace, just stay with Anne Ordain, because she's learned a lot in her distance running in America. If they can just stay there, then I think we could be in the medal table.
2:69 second laps, and I was talking to Steve Hollins, the old British steeplechase international, who's now the Director of Physical Education in Christchurch, and he was saying that Ordain was in very good form and they expected a gold medal from her. Anyway, I'm just looking back down the track. One of the Kenyan girls has fallen. It's 14 years old Chepkombe, and she is stretched out on the track. So far the cameras haven't picked her up, but two officials are trying to do that. I think of the three, that's the one that's missing, Chepkombe, and this is where it happened. Ordain leading, Smith in second place, Wendy Smith is third, and there she hits the curb, and I think the problem is that she's twisted an ankle. So as we rejoin the race now, they've got about 4.5 laps to go. Ordain has really taken it on. She's 27, lives in Colorado in the United States. I think the two other Kenyan girls are a bit puzzled as to what's happened to Chepkombe.
Anne Ordain's done every inch of the work so far. She's taken it out pretty fast, and she's stretched the field. The Kenyans that we were worried about have gone. It looks as though they're really struggling now. Debbie Scott, the Canadian who we were worried about, looks as though she's gone right down the field. But this is the problem area for Anne Ordain, because she's now coming up. She sees 4 laps to go. She's suffered the pressure of having to lead all the way, and she's now thinking she's 4 laps from home. She's got Wendy Smith on her shoulder, and I know she respects Wendy pretty much. But I think Anne Ordain is a really high-class athlete. They've met often running against each other in America, and they know each other's strengths and weaknesses. And I think Anne Ordain, if Wendy can just stay there, she may be better off in the later stages.
Actually, the pace is quite quick. 69 the first lap, 2:18, another 69, and then a 70-second lap. And if they can go on like this, well, Wendy Smith's Commonwealth record of 8:46 is in danger. And that's Wendy Smith in second place. And these 2 girls have broken away from Ruth Smith, who is there just inside the smaller Kenyan, who is Chepchirchir, only 14 years old. There's a fair old battle developing for the medal, the principal medal in front, as they come round with just over 3 to go. That's the race for the bronze, and they're now some 20 metres back. And moving slowly through the field there, Lorraine Moller of New Zealand.
Very impressive running so far from both these girls. I can see Wendy's gradually moving closer to Anne. The last lap sprint, they'll know exactly what each other can do on the last lap, and they're now 3 laps from home, and they're concerned about this is a problem area. They've got 3 laps to go. They're both tired now. You can see they're both hurting. The pace is not slowing any, so they're really racing it out. They've done this quite a lot on the roads in America, and they know each other very, very well.
Wendy Smith, controversially not picked for the European Championships, but she may have benefited from that, in fact, and come here fresh. Still Ordain leading. That's the battle for the bronze medal positions. And wind hitting the girls in the back straight. And Lorraine Moller of New Zealand, better known as a marathon runner, now very much in the battle for the bronze. Ruth Smith there as well, and also Chepchirchir of Kenya. Meanwhile in front, turning out of the wind, Ordain applying pressure all the time. And the pace at the moment is well inside 8:50. I say well inside 8:46 or 8:47 if they go on at even pace.
This is extremely good pace this so far, and I can just notice there Anne Ordain is just testing out Wendy Smith. She's glanced over her shoulder. She's worried about whether she's dropped or not. She hasn't really gone, and this is now, they're 2 laps from home, and it's a real good race, but Wendy Smith's going to have to make a move because Anne Ordain is really quick on the last 200 metres.
Having said that, though, Ordain's been out in front for a long time, taking the pressure, taking the wind, and she goes into the wind again in the back straight, and surely Wendy Smith may have to wait until the closing stages, because to attack down that back straight, you can see them actually bending into it. To attack down a back straight too soon may well be a mistake. Wendy Smith, who set the Commonwealth record on that very fast Bislett track in Oslo earlier this year, 8:46.01. Lorraine Moller now clear in 3rd place. So New Zealand certain of at least 2 medals, and there moving through is the other New Zealand girl, who is Diane Roger. So they're all ready for this last lap battle. Wendy Smith has run intelligently in the conditions. She's had a willing pacemaker in Anne Ordain, but now it's a question of judgment. Wendy moving out just to threaten Ordain. There's the 3rd place girl, Moller, better known as a marathon runner. She's sure of the bronze. But Wendy Smith moves right out there. And the time at the bell, 7 minutes 38.2. So it's fast. Certainly the Commonwealth record could be in danger. Wendy Smith scorning protection from the wind. And what an atmosphere in the stadium. These Brisbane games so well supported. There's some 50,000 watching this on what is a bank holiday. 200 metres to go, and Wendy Smith moves up on the outside, but there's nothing decisive there. Ordain responds. Now what can Wendy Smith do about that? Gritting her teeth, and Ordain kicks again, and she's drawing any finish out of Wendy Smith and getting away. A fine piece of front running by the New Zealand girl, who now has broken Wendy Smith, who's got to settle for 2nd place. Anne Ordain takes the gold, having led all the way. In 2nd place, a fine run by the Commonwealth record holder that was, because her figures have gone, Wendy Smith. And in third place, Lorraine Moller. In fourth place, Diane or Roger of New Zealand, and they finished first, third and fourth. And the new Commonwealth Games record time, indeed Commonwealth time, is 8 minutes 45.5. And that desperate last battle cost Wendy Smith her Commonwealth record, and also, well, she lost out on the Commonwealth Championship. But it was a fine piece of running, lovely race to watch, and one can only admire the way that Anne Ordain went about her work, and the way that Wendy Smith sat in and waited for an opportunity, even though she wasn't able to take it when it came.
You can't take it away from Anne Ordain. That's the way every runner, every distance runner likes to do it. She did it from the front. She was challenged on the last lap, and then she had the finish, and she came storming away for a great victory. And the New Zealanders were first, third and fourth, and it's good to see the New Zealanders doing something, because we had worried about their lack of strength in the middle distance, and amazingly it's the New Zealand women who are doing it.
So the familiar all back in the silver fern, very much in prominence, and the new Commonwealth record and the gold medal goes to Anne Ordain. The new record time, 8 minutes 45.5. Wendy Smith, the girl in second place, with the silver for England.
Thank you very much indeed. Now, Steve, that's a relatively new event, the 3,000 metres, isn't it, for women? I think the first time we saw it in the Commonwealth Games was in Edmonton.
That's right. They've only just started to introduce the longer distances for women.
It's quite
and
a
the
tough
marathon
event.
as well.
Yes.
Yes, it is a tough event. As you saw there, Anne Ordain applied the thumb screws almost from the word go.
Good way of putting it.
That's right, and it is pressure for those girls. She was obviously told before the race that the only way to win it against Wendy was to go out hard all the way, and that's literally what she did. And it's very...
Graham Williamson of Scotland. We're going to see this race coming up now. And also in it, along with him, is Ian Stewart of England, and the Kenyan, well-known man in athletics, of course,